playlist together to give you a taste of Japanese racing culture.
To racing heavily customized vehicles. And there's no one better than Japanese speed racers to show you the ropes. You'll get extra detail real soon, but let's head to the container first. Here we go! We made sure you discover almost everything the Japanese drivers have to offer. To the next objective. There's a special gathering tonight at the Japanese temple, the start of a whole new experience. Here's what to expect when getting there. A traditional Japanese summer vibe and lots of kyusha cars, meaning iconic, classic, and made in Japan. On top of this, expect some exciting encounters. That's right. Motorfest has got some killer people to introduce you to an authentic Japanese racing experience. Don't worry, you'll meet them soon enough.
Game on. We're going for some proper Japanese street racing. Let's show them, guys.
Gotcha. Got it.
Sure, why not? Motorfest asked us to show you how it's done, but we don't do free tours here. You gotta play your part and give us a bit of a challenge.
No pressure at all.
Yeah, don't scare the kid, brother. NSX isn't your regular streetcar. It was made back in the 90s to stand neck and neck with the likes of Ferrari and Porsche.
You sound just like Shingo.
By the way, do you know what NSX stands for?
New sports car experimental.
I wasn't asking you, Hina.
See that awesome canyon on the left? Eyes on the road, Hina. Festival mood they set. Feels just like our own traditional festival back home.
Next stop, Kaneohe. The pack is waiting for you there and is willing to show you some more of the racing culture. Wangen-sen, also called Tokyo Bayshore Route, or Route B, is a famous stretch of highway for street racers. Almost every racer in the 80s and 90s knows about it. In fact, some of the best drivers have pushed their engines on this very road. Even notorious racing groups, like the Midnight Club, cut their teeth here. And that's what slightly inspired our next event.
like a real hasheria with my NSX. Got me interested.
Well, then I believe you're in for a treat.
Oh, yeah? Well, bring it on.
Rebellion! Newbie wants to take the lead.
The show continues, kid. But watch out. You're driving Ren's Skyline this time, and there's no word to tell you how crazy she is about that car. Can't blame her. The R34 is a legend.
It's a kaiju.
Go for a driver. This car was made to be first only.
Nice move. Okay, you've got talent. This is getting interesting. That path is perfect to get a taste of the Wangan spirit, an absolute myth among Japanese street racers.
Yeah, picture the Tokyo Bayshore route with one thing in mind, never slowing down.
In a Wangan race, you gotta go fast, friend.
Well, guys, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. This is the Skyline we're talking about.
These dragons are massive.
You got a wish to make?
Sharp turn. Careful.
Reminds me of that time Shingo missed a turn during a midnight race, supposedly because he was dazzled by the moonlight.
Oh, shut up.
I remember that.
drifting technique was perfected by Japanese gearheads who raced in the mountains in order to keep city pedestrians safe. Along with suboptimal road conditions, these mountain passes are filled with hairpin turns and other challenges. Drifting is the best way to take sharp turns without losing speed. We call these passes toge. There's even a toge style of racing. The winding mountain roads of Hawaii are as close as we could get to Japan, so we figured it would be a good place to teach you. One last thing, a toge race usually features only 2 racers. You got it, you're in for a duel.
Just you and me this time. Why don't we put the whole festival euphoria on hold for a while and get a proper face-off? Let me show you what toge is all about. Relax. I've seen what you can do. Plus, I'll give you some tips on the way. The key to toge is being able to balance the brake and gas pedal at every turn. One wrong move and you're out. This technique isn't easy, but when you pull it off, you feel like the greatest driver alive, and the coolest. Your ride is a 3rd Gen 2002 Mazda RX-7. Lightweight, compact, a sick rotary engine, and one hell of a look. That's an honest car, and she seems pretty confident you can beat me with it. Let's prove her wrong. There's a tunnel coming. It gets tricky at high speed. Make sure you don't lose control. That's the best and also the toughest part, so stay sharp. Just a few more laces and this is it. Come on, show me some real toge driving.
You're all warmed up? How about a full-on drift event? Is right on the coast, and the view of the ocean is stunning. At least that's what my databases tell me. Again, I'm just a robot. I hope you've liked the RX-7, because you'll be driving it again during this challenge. Except this time, she'll be waiting for you all modded and upgraded. You've seen traditional Japan. Now it's time to enter the modern age. Be prepared, the contrast is stunning.
me, Hinata. Incredible, you did beat Hayato in that toga duel. I knew it. There's something about you. Hayato is one of the best racers I know. Kudos. And now, welcome to my playground, the drift track. As you already know, drifting was born in Japan. That is where you'll find the biggest drifting scene and some of the best drifting spots, of course. Like, the Ebisu Circuit is one of the most famous places in the world for drifting. Designed by drifters, for drifters. Who knows? Maybe Motorfest will get you drifting there someday. How do you feel about my modded RX-7? Tougher yet still elegant? That is my RX-7 2.0 for you. Because Japanese car culture isn't only famous for its drifting history, it also brought modded cars to another level, among many other things. Come on, you're almost done. Push that beauty to its limit. You have my permission.
Drifting is a popular racing style in Japan, but drag racing also gets its fair share of gearheads. There's a drag spot set up not too far from here. This runway is one of the best places to drag race on the island. Warm up your engine and don't blink. This will be a quick one. get a taste of modern Japanese car culture without some proper urban racing and seriously modded customs. The streets of Honolulu at night should set the perfect stage for these final races Motorfest has prepared for you. For a wild run. The pack hasn't shown you all their moves yet, and I believe they're ready to put on quite a show. We're almost there. Show them once and for all that you have what it takes.
You were waiting for when you signed up for the Made in Japan experience. Out of this world customs owning the city.
Well, you got your wish. Everybody's car is on top of their game, especially your new ride, Toji's Mitsubishi Lancer Evo X.
Yeah, Toji's the craziest customizer of us all. He loves his cars big and mean.
Okay, you've got talent. This is getting interesting. The Evo X, or previously known as Concept X and Prototype X, is the final form of the Lancer Evolution series. It's the most technologically advanced Evo ever.
Another JDM gem. You're welcome.
Toji would say it's the best of them all.
Watch the car. Hold on.
The Evo X doesn't have a legit reverse gear. It has two forward gears working together to make the wheels rotate in the opposite way. Cool, huh?
And that's how you save on weight.
Precisely.
Race! That Motorfest crew knows how to throw a party.
Don't get too excited. You're just a host in that fantasy.
Watch out. Hosts can be dangerous, Mrs. Abernathy.
Hey, I got that ref.
Nerds, both of you.
Finish line's just a few seconds away, guys. It's now or never. This was the Mitsu Lancer Evo X with a special Toji custom. And you just showed you're totally worthy of that car.
Event right there. You'll be racing amongst the whole pack this time, so we got you covered with a special car. Have fun!
Driver, this is the final race, all together this time. You guys ready?
You bet. Not bad for a rookie.
You're a fighter. you got yourself a special car for this race. What a ride.
Courtesy of the Motorfest, I presume.
A pumped-up Toyota Supra A80. A solid choice.
Couldn't be more appropriate, actually. The Supra was specifically designed at the time to rival most of our cars. Skyline, NSX, or RX-7. And that customization looks flawless.
Pretty cool. But remember, nothing beats the R34.
Funny way to pronounce NSX.
Shinjuku style, huh? Well, we'll see about that.
You gotta admit, it feels just like Tokyo.
Well, I guess they did do a pretty good job capturing the vibe of our streets.
How come our new buddy didn't get to drive Haya's MX-5?
Fair point.
Who knows? Another time, maybe. There's still so much about Japanese racing we didn't touch on.
Are we talking, guys, or are we showing our new member who the top dogs are in this pack?
Did you get
that, driver? He said let's punch it.
Don't forget to grab... your reward vehicle, driver. We've got one last surprise for you, driver. Let's head back to the... Playlist constraints removed. You can now experience it, driver. New challenges unlocked. A playlist is available, driver. season is all about luxury cars. If you've played the Ferrari playlist, you know what I mean. But it doesn't end there. The festival has invited numerous guests and brands to take part over the years. And now, the most prestigious brands are opening their doors to us. Our luxury car authority, the Archivist, has been invited by the greatest European luxury car manufacturers to discuss our common passion for beautiful vehicles and to show us the places where these jewels are formed. A grand tour of Europe that you'll be getting a taste of in this new playlist experience. Onto the container. You'll discover everything this voyage was about.
As the Motorfest archivist, I had the privilege to be invited by prestigious European car manufacturers for a special visit. This was the beginning of my European tour, and the starting point for your new car culture experience. My journey would let me spend time among the finest machines the old continent has produced. French elegance,
Championship are Archivist. 13 events, lots of side activities and prize money to win. The Motorfest has spared no expenses on this luxury experience. Let's see what's coming up. The tour starts now. Our archivist has documented the whole thing, so we can share with you, here in Hawaii, his luxury chronicles. Each car you'll be driving in this playlist is related to our archivist journey. Get to the event tag and discover what our luxury car authority has in store for you. Congratulations, driver! You've ascended a step closer to being a Motorfest legend. A new reward is waiting for you within the activity menu.
My trip back to Europe would lead me first to France, with a schedule full of promise. When you get these notes, driver, you'll be driving the roads of Maui in the very cars I'm writing about, to get a proper French luxury feel without leaving Hawaii or the festival.
Let's call this a do-over.
The Aculone and Genti automobile was such an interesting starting point for my tour. A newcomer to the French luxury car market, and their very first machine. This was very exciting. I got to learn everything I needed to know about this car. A car born from the passion of a creator who dreamed of building his own luxury hypercar with 4-figure horsepower and an unparalleled power-to-weight ratio from scratch. By the time you, driver, get my notes, the result should be in your hands. Excellence, rarity, and soul. The Accolone by Genti Automobile.
Was this luxury ride for an introduction? For the next event of this playlist, we're going deeper into the French luxury car market. Get ready to hear everything about our Archivist's second stop.
Despite its rare and premium nature, luxury cars can take many forms and come from many places. Of course, they often come from well-established luxury manufacturers, and I was about to see a lot of these on my journey. But my visit at Genti has shown us that a luxury car can bloom from the vision and passion of a single person. And today, my second stop in France has shown that luxury cars can also come from manufacturers that usually keep their distance from the luxury world. This stop was about a French everyday car manufacturer, Citroën, and their famous Citroën GT. The GT is a car which, according to its main engineer in 2008, was meant to be the supercar of 2025, the same year as this European trip. Talk about apropos. This car was originally made for a video game, but it had such an impact that they decided to make it a reality. At the time, the possibility of having the GT be mass-produced was real. But in the end, the incredible vehicle would remain a concept car for the world to admire and a very privileged few to drive.
Things are getting serious. You're now about to focus on the most luxurious of French luxury car brands. No need to think twice. You've already guessed it. Our next event, Bugatti, Now and Then.
At last, it was finally time for me to make a stop in Mulsanne, home of the French luxury car brand par excellence, Bugatti. There is... At last, it was finally time for me to make a stop in Mulsanne, home of the French luxury car brand par... At last, it was finally time for me to make a stop in Mulsanne, home of the French luxury car brand par excellence, Bugatti. There is absolutely no way I could have skipped this more than 110-year-old institution. My enthusiasm was vindicated, as I got to spend some time with the legendary machine that was the 1936 Type 57 SC Atlantic, designed by Jean Bugatti, one of the most beautiful Bugattis ever made. A car that embodies Bugatti's pioneering spirit and passion for perfection. What a pleasure it was to take this venerable machine through the picturesque countryside roads of France. Four units of this car were made at the time, including a single all-black version that Jean Bugatti kept for himself. Unfortunately, its whereabouts are a long-standing mystery, as that particular vehicle disappeared during World War II. Or did she? To be honest, this special moment with Bugatti was one of the highlights of my European tour, especially when you know which car they're going to bring next. La Voiture Noire, a direct tribute to that all-black Type 57 SC I just mentioned. One of the most beautiful and most expensive cars in the world. Exclusivity, artistry, performance, and luxury. A car that is undoubtedly a worthy successor to Jean Bugatti's personal masterpiece. I'm pretty sure the man would have loved to see this. Anyway, for me, this was the perfect end to a perfect day. Festival goers, I hope you'll enjoy driving these as much as I did admiring them in their native land.
The Luxury Chronicles continue. We're staying with Bugatti for one last French spin with a luxurious yet very intimidating car.
Day 4 of my glorious French sojourn. I was staying at Bugatti's for another day, and as the icing on the cake, Bugatti served me one last exclusive piece of art on a plate. The Bugatti Vision GT. Another car originally designed for the video game industry that made it to the real world, for my pleasure and yours. If you're currently driving this car, and I believe you are, be cautious. This car may be a jewel. Once awakened, she becomes a beast.
was a dive into French car haute couture. You're now entering the second part of this luxury vehicle experience, still narrated by our archivist. So next stop, Germany. A very special German car has been prepared for you.
After a marvelous French introduction, I was now flying to Germany to pursue my work on the European luxury brands. I was expecting great things from the upcoming meetings. This leg of the journey was a promising one. Talking about German luxury cars without talking about Porsche would be nonsense. It is one of the names that belongs in the pantheon of luxury car culture. Guided by my fellow archivist from Stuttgart, I was being honored with an insider tour of their museum, from which I was getting priceless notes and pictures for my archives, and for Motorfest. Among all the jewels that surrounded us, the Carrera GT took a special place in our day. A car born from a streak of Porsche victories, made to compete with the greatest. Top sports car in the 2000s. Dare I say, one of the top sports cars of all time. What a day, and what a car. I couldn't have dreamed of a better way to start my trip in Germany.
Porsche when it comes to German luxury cars. Well, don't worry. Our archivist and the Motorfest organizers have got you covered. You'll see.
My Germany tour is officially on. After an incredible first stop in Stuttgart, I had the distinct pleasure of spending a day with Apollo Automobile and an absolute marvel of a car, the Apollo Project Evo. This car, which is still under development as I write these lines, is definitely one of the boldest and most aggressive-looking cars I've seen in my long career. The active aerodynamics, the fins, that rear spoiler, and X-Light signature, everything in this car's design screams, you're getting eaten alive. And this interior. You really have to see it to believe it. Nothing short of a superhero car. There's only one existing prototype at the moment. The one I just got the chance to discover. Note to self, I really must convince Apollo to lend this car to Motorfest for our upcoming luxury cars playlist. luxury is elegance, fine materials, and high-precision craftsmanship. But it is also the freedom to embrace a hardline approach and go all the way.